Alright, today we're going to learn shove it. Sorry this video's been a long time coming, and I really would like to do this in the grass. That's the first point that I need to make, even though I'm doing it on concrete. You need to learn it in the grass. It's harder in the grass, it's lumpier, the landing's wonky when you're landing in soft dirt, but you don't want to be wearing these things because you have to, not because you want to. And for safety gear, wrist guards are the most important. Second most important are high top shoes, socks, and pants. This is a shin buster trick all day long. You're going to bust your shins, you're going to scrape your shins. These sharp edges of the board are going to rake your shins. It's going to happen, I promise. I've got plenty of purple scars from it. Most of those are from not wearing pants. This is a nasty one, and that's just from hitting grip tape, my own grip tape, because I wasn't wearing pants. I was wearing shorts and doing ankle buster tricks or shin busters. So get in the grass, do it in the grass. I know it's weird, it's uncomfortable, it's hard to bounce, it's hard to land, but the physical penalty is so much less when you fall on the grass than if you fall on concrete. I don't really have a choice. This grass is wet. I know a lot of people like to ride on the beach, like to get their boards wet, hose them off. Nope, nope, nope. My board stays dry. If I accidentally get caught in the rain, the first thing I do when I get home, I break out the Q-tips, take it apart, dry it. Not taking any chances here. You spend too much time away from your board when you have to send it back to the factory. Not going to happen. I'm not going to take those chances. I take enough chances doing shove-its on concrete and beating up my board. So, shove-its. You're going to find in grass, you don't need to do edge rolling so much. If you don't know what edge rolling is, you need to go to my previous videos. I can't reteach everything with a new video, and this is a more of an advanced trick, so you need to have baseline skills to call upon in order to work on a trick like this. So grass, grass, grass. Don't forget the grass. And the first thing you're going to need to do is get comfortable jumping off your board and jumping back on it, having light feet. You want to catch, ideally you want to catch the board back in the balanced state like it is now. You don't want to land with the nose down or tail down. So you got to learn to be light on your feet. You got to learn to pop it a little bit, lift your feet up in the air, put your feet back on the board, and that's just going to take practice, practice, practice. There's not a lot of people out there doing shove-its right now. I could probably count on one hand the people in the world that can just do a basic 180 shove-it right now consistently. And after this video, I know there's going to be a lot more people that are going to start doing it. That's what always happens when I put out a video. We see a lot more people doing these tricks, which is great. So get comfortable. One way is going to be more comfortable than the other. Either going to be backside for you, which if you're regular footed, that's going to be clockwise, and front side for you. So if you tend to turn more backside, shove-itting backside is probably going to be more comfortable for you. If you tend to like to turn front side, then kicking the board front side is probably going to be more comfortable for you. For the vast majority of people, my guess, it's going to be backside. So basically, a lot of it is just going to be repetition. It's just going to be kicking the board, and trying to keep it flat. Now, why would the board not go flat? If you see my videos trying to do the 360 shove it, the board loves to kick over on its side. And it's weird, it's really strange and really annoying until you understand why it's doing it. I talk a lot in my videos about the board physics. This is not a skateboard. It's not just going to sit there inert and do whatever you kick it. If you kick it a certain direction, it does exactly where you kick it. No, it also is trying to anticipate what you're going to do, the leans. It tries to determine your weight balance over the board. It tries to apply torque to the wheel, and that's why your board flips over all the time when you try to do a shove it, is because you're not keeping the board level. And on a skateboard, to do a proper shove it, your feet aren't really perfectly level. You're kind of like ollieing it a little bit. It's a little wonky. So if you've done skateboard shove-its, this may be even a little bit more difficult for you than if you never have done shove-its. So you're going to have to start putting conscious effort into just figuring out whether or not your feet are staying level as you do the shove it, because usually they're not. And the main culprit is your let's call it your rear. Like if you're doing backside, it's going to be your rear foot toe side. Your toe is going to want to kick down as you spin, and what that does is it drops the tail and signals the board to engage the motor. You do not want the motor engaging while you're in the middle of a shove it. It will flip the board over on its side. You won't be able to land on it. So that's going to be probably your biggest problem while you're in grass and learning this, is keeping the board flat. Once you get good at kicking the board, it stays flat and it spins. It's going to be not like I usually say about trusting the board. It's going to be about trusting yourself. You're going to have to trust to put your feet on the pads and deal with it. You're going to fall a few times. And what's unfortunate, the reason I call this a shin buster trick, probably the most common shin buster is going to happen when you land a little bit too far to the heel side, and the board's going to flip up, whack you in the shins. Ouch. So keeping the board flat, getting comfortable kicking it over and over and over. This is going to take a while. Then lifting your feet up the right amount, waiting for the board to do its spin, setting your feet gently down on the pads. Then, if you can do that, trust yourself, get your feet on the pads, you get to trust the board. It's a balancing board. It will balance for you. You may fall forward, you may fall backward. Get comfortable with, when you get your feet on the board, if it doesn't feel right, getting off it again so you don't rake your shins, and just keep kicking it. Once you get pretty comfortable with it, you're landing it in grass. We're back to edge rolling, because you really don't need to edge roll in grass for 180 shove it. The board's going to spin. The board can stay flat. It can spin across the surface of the Vega tire, because even though the tire is grippy on hard surfaces, it's not grippy in grass. But if you make it that far and you get to concrete, you do need to edge roll. This concrete is not the grippiest concrete in the world, but it's pretty grippy. I have to give it a little bit of edge rolling. And so I'm going to lean just a little bit back on my heels and give it a kick. So even though I can do this trick pretty consistently, I'm not going to land it every time. See how I kind of got off the board there? Fairly light on my feet. I'm not pushing heavy. I'm not letting it rake my shins. But you may be able to see there. Give it just a little bit of a roll back onto the heel side and kick it. And get used to that. You know, this is not a 100% landing percentage trick for me. So you're not going to see me just land it over and over and over again. It's going to take a long time before you get to that level of consistency, especially on concrete, which takes a little bit of a confidence level, which is really just mental, because it is easier to do on concrete than on grass. So that's really all there is to it. Practice, practice, practice. You need to watch me flail a lot trying to do this. But we'll get one more before we close the video out. And this one I imagine is probably going to need a lot of annotation. If you have more questions, if you find that you're keep trying, can't land it, take a little video of your failures, put it up. I'll diagnose it for you. I'll help you get it. And that's what you're going to find a lot too. You land it, you get your feet on it, you think all is good, but you're not quite perfectly balanced. You're landing a little bit too far heel or toe side, and then you're just going to have to step off. Now there's no real physical penalty to that, not a big deal. And then the more and more comfortable you get with it, the more frequently you'll be able to kick it and put your feet right back on it. Like that. Land it, nice and comfortable. Let's see if we can do a shove it to perch to close this out. And yeah, sloppy, but we got it. All right. Good luck, guys. Let me know how it goes. I'm having a 360 shove it attempt on concrete just to close it out. Nah, not today.